Been a great fan of anime but feel your knowledge about anime is inadequate? Guess what? Me too. It's with no doubt that the world of anime is quite well known throughout the world, and that if you ask people if they have heard about anime, I can assure you that many will say, yes, I have heard of it. That is how successful animes are, but we all have heard the gruesome and appalling stories of how difficult and stressful it is to produce anime. Guess what, people? I have been doing some research about anime production and have found an abundance of very interesting information that I think fans of anime should know. So don't go anywhere, fellas, and you're watching an anime story. 5 amazing facts about anime production part 1. So number 1. Find any of these animes familiar, guys? One Piece, Slam Dunk, Dragon Ball, heck, even my mom knows Dragon Ball. But do you know the studio behind these animes? Meet Toei Animation Studio, and believe it or not, the studio is the first Japan animation studio that was established in Japan. Okawa Hiroshi, the president of the company, decided to form the studio in 1956 after he was impressed by Disney's 1937 Snow White film. Back then, the studio was called Toei Doga and had an ambition to become the Disney of the East. Another surprising fact is that Miyazaki Hayao, yes, none other than the Miyazaki Hayao, the founder of Studio Ghibli that we all know, hailed as one of Japan's greatest animation directors, actually started his career in Toei Doga, now Toei Animation. Number 2. 90% of the frames used in anime are actually drawn overseas. Wait a minute. If 90% of these are drawn overseas, then what the hell are the people in the Japanese studio animations are even doing? Jeez, come on, calm down, will ya? While the frames are mostly drawn outside of Japan, the design and storytelling are often done in Japan. Okay, fine. Guess they are doing some work. But outside Japan? Where exactly? Korea, China, and the Philippines apparently. But why? Because it's cheaper, that's why. Now stop and no more question. With the cost of production increasing recently in anime making, many studios today opt for studios outside of Japan in order to save money. This is also partly because the studios are often left with very little budget to start with their projects. In fact, when the first televised anime, Astro Boy, kept on posting losses despite being quite successful in Japan, the father of anime, Tezuka Osamu, even had to chip in his own income from manga publishing into the company in a bid to save the studio from going bankrupt. Not to mention the very low return that anime makes. Which brings us to number 3. The Curse of Osamu. It is actually said that the reason why budget in anime production is awfully low is because the network, as in the TV networks, pay anime producers very little money for the work they do. Why? If the networks know how tough it is, then why pay them so low? It was actually Tezuka Osamu who, well, did something which is difficult to be undone. What Tezuka Osamu did was that he sold his work cheap to these networks in order to dispirit competitors and to have his work seen more. This has caused today's Japan animation studio to sell their work cheap in order to get an upper hand on top of their competitors and to secure better time slots to air their animes. Number 4. Yes guys, the pay sucks. It is said that animators in the 20s make roughly $11,000 annually. Animators in their 30s make around $20,000 a year, and even seasoned animators who are in their 40s and 50s earn only about $30,000 a year. And guess what? Most Japan animation studios are situated in Tokyo, one of the world's most expensive cities. Although most of the studios are located at the suburb of Tokyo, but still, they are expensive to live in. To make things worse, according to a survey, 40% got no healthcare coverage. No wonder animators and mangaka often get sick. One American animator who is currently working in Japan animation studio, Henry Thurlow, even said he ended up in hospital 3 times due to exhaustion and illness. And speaking from experience, damn guys, Japanese people always tend to overwork themselves. When I was doing an exchange at a Japanese university, I stumbled upon a girl who was laying on a bench surrounded by 2 lecturers and several students looking after her. And when I went to them and asked what happened, they said she fainted due to overwork. Whew. Well, anyway, to number 5, the last one. Most Japan animation animators would eventually leave anime studios for more lucrative work in video games. According to a survey, 9 out of 10 would do so. Ian Condry, a Harvard professor and the author of The Soul of Anime, told a story whereby in March 2009, when representatives from Square Enix, yeah, hey there Final Fantasy, came to Harvard University to give a seminar on the making of the Final Fantasy XII game, he met the director Hiroshi Minagawa and was talking about the workings of characters and the intriguing parallels between anime and video games production. The director was quoted asking him this: "Why are you studying such an old-fashioned and unprofitable industry?" Oof, what a question. If the anime continues bringing in very little profit, we might actually see a decline in anime production in the future. No wonder anime studios are making animes targeting a niche market such as animes for otakus or animes for fujoshis. Perhaps all in a hope to get more returns and then being able to produce animes that the studios want. Alright guys, I hope you enjoyed my video. I really hope someone is actually watching this. Let me know what you think. Remember to like, subscribe and share with your friends, and see ya!